Everyone told Amber she was the most generous person they knew. What they didn't tell her was that her generosity was bankrupting her. Not financially. Something worse. She was hemorrhaging the one currency that doesn't replenish overnight, can't be borrowed from a bank, and once spent is gone forever. She was giving away her time, freely, cheerfully, and without a single condition, to everyone except the one person whose dreams actually depended on it. Herself. We live in a world that celebrates the person who is always available, always helpful, always willing to drop everything for someone else. But nobody celebrates the goals that died quietly in the background while that person was busy being everything to everyone. Nobody holds a funeral for the book that never got written, the business that never got launched, the life that never got built, because the hours that should have built them were always spoken for by somebody else. If that sounds familiar, stay with us, because today we're telling the story of Amber, a woman who was everybody's first call and her own last priority, and what happened when she finally decided to change that. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe, because the right story at the right time can change the entire direction of your life. Amber was 31 and everyone's favorite person to call. She was the friend who showed up when you were moving apartments, the colleague who stayed late to help you finish your presentation, the sister who drove 2 hours on a Sunday because someone needed company. She never said no, not because she didn't want to, but because saying yes had become so deeply woven into her identity that she had forgotten she was allowed to do anything else. On paper, Amber's life looked full. In reality, it was full of everyone else. Her own goals lived in a notes app she rarely opened, a fitness routine she kept restarting, an online course she had purchased 8 months ago and completed exactly one lesson of, a side business idea she had been calling almost ready for 2 years. Every time she carved out a window to work on any of it, the phone rang. A favor was needed. A crisis, someone else's, demanded her attention. And Amber, reliable and warm and endlessly available, answered every single time. She told herself it was kindness, and it was for everyone but her. The moment everything shifted came on a Wednesday evening. Amber had blocked off 3 hours to finally work on her business plan. Within 40 minutes, she had answered 2 calls, responded to a string of messages that could have waited until morning, and agreed to help a friend draft an email that had nothing to do with her. When she finally looked up, the 3 hours were gone. The business plan was exactly where she had left it. She sat in the silence of that moment for a long time. And she asked herself a question she had never dared to ask before: if she died tomorrow, would any of the people she had given her time to even know what she had been trying to build? The answer was no, because she had never protected it long enough for it to exist. That night, Amber made a decision that felt selfish and foreign and deeply necessary. She decided to become stingy with her time. Not cold, not unavailable, but intentional. She created boundaries around her mornings. The first 90 minutes of every day belonged to her goals and nothing else. She started letting non-urgent calls go to voicemail. She stopped treating other people's lack of planning as her emergency. She said no, not with cruelty, but with clarity, and discovered that the world did not fall apart when she did. What fell apart instead were the habits that had been quietly stealing her future. Within 3 months, the business plan was finished. Within 6, she had her first paying client. Within a year, Amber had built something real, not because she had suddenly found more time, but because she had finally stopped donating it. Being stingy with your time is not selfishness. It is survival. Every person who has ever built something meaningful, a business, a body of work, has done so by treating their hours as a finite, precious, non-negotiable resource. They were not always available. They were not everyone's first call. They disappointed people occasionally and protected their vision constantly. Amber was generous her whole life. The most important thing she ever did was learn to be generous with herself first. Your goals are not asking for your perfection. They are not asking for your talent or your credentials or your perfect timing. They are asking for one thing only: your time. Guarded, intentional, unapologetic time. The only question is whether you're willing to be stingy enough to give it to them. If this story moved you, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it today.